Alright guys, we are on lesson 7 in chapter 8, 8.7. So here's what you did yesterday. Yesterday, you learned to write simple inequalities like x is greater than 7, and you learned how to graph x is greater than 7 on a number line. Well, today we are going to kick it up a notch, and we are going to solve one-step inequalities. And here's the cool thing about them. They are just like equations. So there really isn't a whole lot of new stuff you have to know for this lesson, just kind of combining what you already know into this. So watch in number 1. It says solve x plus 7 is greater than or equal to 10. Graph the solution on the number line. So notice it looks an awful lot like an equation, except replace the equal sign with greater than or less than, or greater than or equal to. Sorry about that. So when I solve it, I'm going to write it over here so you can see x plus 7 is greater than or equal to 10. Well, you solve this just like an addition equation. You subtract 7 from both sides. And when you write it, here's what you have to be careful of. Don't write an equal sign. X is greater than or equal to 3. So your solution to this, where it's different from an equation has to be one number. X would have to be equal to 3. In an inequality, your solution is x is any number that's greater than or equal to 3. So you have infinite solutions. Now to graph that, because it's greater than or equal to, you have a closed circle. See it right there? And then you shade greater than. Make sure your sign matches your arrow and shade that. So you solve it like an equation, and then you graph your solution. So in number 2, we'll show you another one. You had x minus 3 is less than 9. So they add 3 to both sides, and you get x is less than 12. Because it's less than, it's an open circle, and you have to graph everything less than 12. Notice the less than sign matches this arrow over here. So solve it like an equation, and then graph it. Let's go down to problem A. You have to solve and graph n plus 2 is less than or equal to 5. So I want you to solve it just like an equation. You must show your work on both sides of this inequality. After you get your solution, graph it on the number line. Alright, try A, pause the video, and start it, see if you're right. Go. Okay, so let's go down to A here, and I'm going to blow this one up real big. Let's see how you did. You should, on the left side, subtract 2. And on the right side, subtract 2. Cancel. You should have n is less than or equal to 3. That is your solution. Make sure you are showing this work on both sides of your inequality. Now, you got to graph that. Since it's less than or equal to 3, you should have a closed circle because you're including the 3. And also, since it's less than, you want that less than sign to match your arrow down here. So make sure you shade everything to the left that is less than or equal to 3. So if you had A, good. If not, think what you got wrong. And now I want you to try B. So pause the video, do B, and then restart it. See if you're right. Go. So in B, here's what you should have done. You have to add 3 to the left and add 3 to the right. Cancel. You get y is greater than 12. Don't have y is equal to 12. Now, when you graph that, since it's greater than, you should have an open circle on the 12. And then you're graphing everything that's greater than 12, which means this direction, because that's all greater than 12. Also remember, your arrow should match the greater than symbol. So if you had B, good. If not, you have lots of chance to learn it on the next page. Alright, the next page in example 3 and 4, they're just multiplication and division inequalities, which are just like multiplication and division equations. So check this out. 5 times x is less than or equal to 45. So to undo the 5 times, you divide by 5. You do it to both sides. Remember, show this work. And you have x is less than or equal to 9. Less than or equal to means closed circle. And graph everything less than it. Remember, this arrow matches this sign. In 4, x divided by 8 is greater than 3. To undo the divided by 8, you multiply by 8. Notice they show the work on both sides. These will cancel, and you get x is greater than 24. Greater than means an open circle, and then shade everything greater than 24. So, we'll go down, and I want you to try C. Show your work to get the x by itself, and graph the inequality. Pause. When you're done, restart it, and see if you're right. Go. Okay, let's see how you did. So in this inequality, you should have divided both sides by 10. Cancel. X is less than 8. Now, when you graph that, less than means an open circle, because you're not including the 8. So I'm going to put an open circle on the 8 if I get my pen turned on. And then you graph everything less than 8. And remember, the less than sign should match that arrow to make sure you shade it in the correct direction. So that's how C looks. In D, I'm going to rewrite. You're going to do this one on your own, and then pause the video, do it, restart it. But rewrite this inequality below, because they give you no room to show your work right here. So do D and restart it when you're done. See if you get it right. Go. Alright, let's see how you did. So, you should have multiplied both sides by 6. And when you do that here, the 6 is canceled and leave you x is greater than or equal to 42. Now, when you graph that, since it's greater than or equal to, you need a closed-in circle because it includes the 42, and shade everything greater than, and notice the arrow matches the greater than sign. Alright. Make sure for both C and D you have this work in blue and this work here, the times 6 times 6 to both sides. Okay, next page, world link. Let's see how you do. Okay, so let's show you how this works in a real world link. It says, Laverne is making bags of party favors for each of the 7 friends attending her birthday party. She does not want to spend more than $42 on her party favors. Write and solve an inequality to find the maximum cost for each party favor bag. Alright, so think about this for a second. She is making bags for 7 friends. So there's 7 friends who are each getting a bag. She does not want to spend more than $42. So whatever she does not want it to be more than $42. So you have to write and solve the inequality to find the maximum cost for each party favor bag. So we're going to define a variable here. We have to find the maximum cost for each party favor bag. And I'm going to use C for cost. So this is just like writing equations. Now, let me go back to the sentence, more than 42. She does not want to spend more than 42. So think of this for a second. If you have 41, 42, and 43, she does not want to spend more than 42. She is okay spending 42 or anything less. So whatever she spends on her party favors, it has to be less than or equal to $42. It cannot be more. Now to figure out what she's doing. There are 7 friends, and each bag costs C. So you're getting 7 bags, so that would be 7 times C. So think about this for a second. 7 party favor bags, each costing C dollars, must be less than or equal to $42, because she doesn't want to spend more than 42. That's your inequality. Now to solve it, you will divide by 7, show that work. C is less than or equal to $6. So what this means in the solution is Laverne wants to spend less than or equal to $6 for each party favor bag. Alright, so that's a real world link, and you're going to finish whatever work you need to do. Remember, for the ones below, for number 1 and 2 where you have to graph it, you are going to have to number your number line in order to graph it. Alright, that's it for me. Make sure you ask me any questions if you need them. Go.